up, man? Hey, yo, let's have a conversation. Hey, yo, may I interject? It's about time for communal reconnect. Power of the we in some type of context. Working on the us so we can hit up what's next. It's that grown brother, grown sister type of flex. More like soul check, not just collecting checks. Fact, not feelings is what we got on deck. Take the high road, so this here is high tech. Getting to the real, very thing that we hitting on. Pull up or sit down, tell me what you sipping on. Reclaiming kinghood, that is what we getting on. Real headlines is what we spitting on. So, hey now, yo, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sec to talk on what we facing. Only way to change is to change the situation. How about we break bread now and have a conversation? Hey now, yo, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sec to talk on what we facing. Only way to change is to change the situation. How about we break bread now and have a conversation? Let's have a conversation. Hey, yo, let's have a conversation. Have a conversation. Have a conversation.
I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king, and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall, you getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can, yo. Can't even get lost, I'm on a pedestal. Sitting on my throne, my neck be decked in gold. I don't do no host.
Okay, this is very impromptu because I just finished my live about 2 hours ago, and I thought I would come back because I got some additional thoughts. If you see the title of today, I'm not going to be on but a few minutes because I got to go to work. But I put the title, I'm a King Fraud. So let me talk to you. So I got something to say. So please do me a favor and
Let me talk to you.
Yeah, so let me talk to you. If you guys noticed, my theme song is it's called I'm a King. Hold on.
The best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds. I'm a lion on the surge, always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness, I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing.
You know, I picked that theme song. Hold on. Our former theme song used to be called Have the Conversation, and this is before people really started watching and paying attention to me. But I picked the theme song, I Have a King, I Am a King. As more of like a self-affirmation type of a theme song. So I just got back home not too long ago from my my personal trainer, and while I was going through my session is 45 minutes long, and each time I go see my personal trainer, I want to quit. I want to quit. I want to give up. It's very hard. I'm 45 years old. and spent the last almost 20 years getting completely and utterly out of shape. So while I'm working out, and I'm thinking about like how much I want to quit and how easy it is, and just sitting there, at times, I feel sorry for myself because what I've allowed to have happen over the last 20 years. And which made me start thinking a lot about what we talk about in these spaces over here, especially on this side of YouTube. There's a lot of talk about Black relationships, Black love or lack thereof, um, attitudes and stuff like that, how we interact with one another, and the absolute fuckery that goes around with amongst each other. And as times, while I'm thinking about the fact of how much I want to quit, and then the next thought that comes in, which is the more responsible part of me, which is this did not happen to you overnight. You did not get out of shape overnight. You were 205 pounds, good cardio, 20 years ago when you were in college. You were on the wrestling team in college. You were you were active, you cared, you still didn't have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And it took time to get here. So it's going to take time to fix. When you think about the state of the Black family, Black relationships, where we are today, it took time for us to get here. It took a lot for us to get here. 50 plus years of letting things go got us here. Just like about 20 years of me letting things go got me to the point where I'm 350 pounds. And people get really surprised when I tell them that I'm 350 pounds. A lot of people say, you don't look like you're 350 pounds. And 350 pounds can look a lot differently on a lot of people. I weigh more than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I weigh more than Brock Lesnar. Hold on, let me see if I can bring up a picture of these guys. Let me see if I can bring up a picture of these guys. Let me see. Let me go and can you share your screen? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen. And I know there's hardly anybody watching. One or two people are watching, but I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Bring this up. Right here. That's Dwayne. Hold on. Let me see. That's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's 245 pounds. I'm 350. I'm almost 100 pounds more than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And there's a big difference between he and I as far as what we look. And it did not get this way overnight. And while I'm working on it and while I'm going to try to put in the work is at times excruciatingly difficult. And you wrestle with how hard it is. And you want to give up. Just like at times I wrestle with how hard it is to look at what's going on amongst Black folk and just simply want to give up. I understand the passport bro movement. I understand why they give up and walk away. I understand it. And sometimes the giving up, the wanting to give up makes you feel like you're a fraud. Um, Hey, I asked someone to come up, so I'm gonna bring up Almond Eyes with me.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead. How you doing? Can you hear me, Almond?
I hear you. Hey,
Hey,
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Let me turn you down a little bit. I got
Yeah.
everybody. I don't know. I thought it would come on Almond a little bit. After my stream, I had a lot to think about. Then I went to go see my personal trainer, and then I'm working out. And I'm just sitting here, just kind of talking about like when you're in that mode of trying to get things back, and how it's way more difficult to try to fix something that's broken than to maintain something that's already together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was sitting there just telling the folk about, I tell people that I'm 350 pounds, and I tell people to get surprised when I tell them that. And I weigh more than Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He's like 260. I'm almost 100 pounds more than him, and that brother's in phenomenal shape. I'm more than the former UFC fighter Brock Lesnar. He's 230. He looks like a jacked up, war machine, you know. And I was kind of comparing it to, the difficulties and wanting to quit, and how sometimes even the guilt of wanting to quit is a lot to bear at times, even
Yeah,
for the
I get
even
it.
even for the best of us. And I'm kind of comparing it to kind of what we do over here on, in our spaces. You know, we did not Black relationships, the way we interact with each other today. I'm talking about today. It didn't get this way overnight. Just like when I was in college, I was 205 pounds and I was on the wrestling team.
Mm-hmm.
My cardio was very good. I was never going to be a marathon runner, but I got on my second floor of my house. I got 14 steps that leads to my second floor of my house, and I absolutely refuse to go upstairs because by the time I get up there, brother is like, feel like I need a break, just from going up them stairs, But this is all self-inflicted, um, a self-inflicted decision. In Black families and Black people, the relationships between Black men and Black women, this didn't happen overnight. This was a 50-year decision
Mm-hmm.
that we made. And I know at times we sit up here, today I talked about, when I broke down Crimson's, stream, it's easier to look at the death and dissect it now. It's easier for us to do that now, and earn money and see where it's at. But the real challenge is what do we do now? Where do we go from here now? And one school of thought is to give up and walk away because, talking about from the male's perspective, that's why you got the passport bro movement, because you got a certain selection of men who decided to just walk away because it wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then guys like me who have a profound love for Black women, which I know sometimes it might not seem like it, but I do. I've never dated, been with casually anything other than a Black woman.
Okay.
So, and there's some guilt to that. There's even a little bit of guilt into the subjects that I cover.
Really?
Yes, because from my side of things, I'm looking at it like, am I contributing to the poor image that we have by continuously publicly putting this? That's the question. That's the struggle.
Well, I say from being a supporter and participating in the conversations with you, I don't think so. Um, I remember something my dad, who just walked by a few minutes ago, used to say when we were little: "If the truth hurts, maybe it should." Maybe you feeling that pain or that sting might cause you to think about what you're doing and then actively make a decision to change it. So I don't think you're adding to the problem. I think you're sometimes you have to meet people where they are. And we have a lot of different people in this space, and they come from try to present the same thing in a lot of different ways. And I mean, you have like Kevin Samuels, Godfather, may he rest in peace. He tried to give it to you in a sophisticated, educated, polished manner. And then you have people like Love Dorsey, she giving it to you straight gutter out the hood. You have to meet people where they are. So you have to as old people would say, chew the meat and spit out the bones. So because I know you were talking earlier in a couple of streams about some people were saying you hate Black women and you're abrasive and you're this and you're that. If that's what it takes to get the message heard, because they wouldn't be saying that if they didn't hear you. First thing, if they weren't hearing what you were saying and it wasn't true on some level for them, then they wouldn't be coming back talking about saying you rough, you abrasive, you mean, you don't like Black women, you this, you that. People always want to do that to try to make you shut up. Because while you're stopping to think about what they're saying to you, they can slip in their agenda. So yeah,
absolutely. So. Yeah, my thing is it's the struggle with everything, and from a Black man, and I've said it on a few streams, and one of these days, maybe I might just do a stream completely about this. A lot of us, I'm on the tail end of the Generation X. I'm borderline Gen X and millennial. I'm in that, I call it the sweet spot, because I was born in the late 70s, into the 80s. So I'm in a weird generational dichotomy, because I can identify with both, because of the where I was born on the spectrum of it. But our generation of men, we are a whole conundrum, because we're old enough to have seen our grandparents married and together. We're old enough to have seen fully intact families. We were the generation that saw the end of that.
Right.
We're also the generation that was victimized by the crack cocaine epidemic,
among other things.
We are the first generation of the the baby mama culture. We're the first generation of it. If you were born from like 76 through 84, we're the first generation of single mother children.
Exactly.
We're the first generation of it.
Right. So we got left alone, and our parents, like you said, we were on the tail end. They were, I'm gonna get mine, as long as I got me, I'm good, me and mine. But me and mine, depending on their mood, it had a different meaning. So I think with us, because like I just had a birthday, so I just turned 45, so I know exactly what you mean by being on the tail end.
Yeah, we're on the. You were born in 78.
78. So because most of my friends didn't have their parents, so everybody came to my house because my parents were together. So again, their parents were together. So I mean, back before that and back before that and back before that. So like you said, we had enough exposure to know that's what we're supposed to be doing. But then on the flip, I think we had just as much exposure of our parents being selfish, especially if you had a single parent situation going on, to I'm just gonna worry about me. And we were like the first group of latchkey kids, that come home from school and be there, nobody's there waiting for you, and sometimes you had to get yourself up to go to school, that kind of situation. So we kind of were like
yourself up. Yeah, we were in a real
we were like the test kids for everything.
The latchkey kid. I completely forgot that we were called that at one point. I remember that in 5th grade. People would be mortified now to find out that a 3rd grader, 4th grader is walking 2 miles home by themselves and going into a house by themselves and making their own meals and stuff like that, because the single mama ain't there. She either at work or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
I can't imagine. My daughter's 8 years old now. I can't imagine her walking home from school by her. That doesn't compute.
These days, you gotta hope she gonna make it. First off,
there you go.
Operating. Yeah.
But I would walk 1 or 2 miles home at 8, 9 years old by myself.
Yeah, because my sister's almost 4 years behind me. My birthday's in August. Her birthday's in November. And I went to private school. So, well, we both did. So when the school we went to actually closed down, we had to transition to public school. The school in our neighborhood was like 12 blocks from here. So yeah, we're like, 10, I'm 10, and she's like 7. And we walking 12 blocks in the middle of the afternoon from school to the house. And it still was like maybe an hour and a half before my dad got back, because he always got off before my mom. So yeah, we in the summertime, we in the house. I mean, we frying chicken, we cooking, French fries. Like we in the house, like cooking, and I'm like 12.
Yep.
Try
And then,
and see what
and so now because of that, we're in adulthood. A lot of in the things that black men were taught, black boys were taught about how to interact and deal with women. We were taught poorly because
I don't think you guys were taught at all. I think
I said taught. Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. We weren't taught at all. And the thing is, and the things that we were taught were we were taught by our moms were wrong. The things that they told us women wanted were wrong. The things that they told us that we needed to do for women were wrong. So a lot of guys, I'm 46, 45, 40, I don't remember, I forgot, years old at right now. And a lot of us of my generation, we're just now within the last 5 years starting to come to understand that we were, especially those of us who haven't been successful with women and don't understand. I always talk about the 54% that are single, childless, make enough money to be in the middle class. Those of us who are, a lot of us are just now starting to understand that we were given the wrong, and we got it from our mothers. I don't think they did it on purpose. They're just women. That's why I did that.
I think a lot of it came from, not to cut you off, I think a lot of it had to be trauma. Because again, like my mother's parents was married to my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they still married. My grandmother died, but they was together. Same thing with, what I'm saying, on my dad's side. His parents were together until his dad died when he was a kid. Like, this is what we do. This is what they saw. But I think a lot of, what I'm saying, parents during that time were operating in trauma. So, I think for the women who were, with the sons, they were, giving you guys, as far as how to interact with women, what they thought they needed at the time, not what was really needed. But again, you can wake up on Monday and feel like, oh yeah, I want to buy these shoes. And if Friday come when you get paid, you be like, I don't know if I really want these. I might wait and see what else is coming out. So I mean, but if you constantly, you're supposed to be trying to mold minds and get people together, what I'm saying, emotionally and all that kind of stuff, and you up here and around the corner and all around the way, like that's what you'll get confusion. So I think a lot of black men our age are confused.
Absolutely confused. Absolutely
confused. But they're so emotional because they were
raised by their women.
Right. And all they got was emotion. Gimme. No. It's just all over the place. So it's taking them a long time to figure out this is not how this is supposed to go. But they don't want to admit that because they don't want to hurt their mama's feelings. But I mean, you might have to get the job done.
Well, most of us in my generation of black men are simps. Not because we want to be, it's because we were grown to be. And here's the other thing. We were taught that if a woman was a single mother, then she was victimized by the guy.
Yeah, and that's not the case.
But we know that now.
Yeah, we know that. But yeah, that's the mentality. But I mean, because you have to, like you were talking in another stream, back in the day, like my mom was a kid, get pregnant if that is shame. Like they gonna send you off somewhere, and when you come back, that baby is not your baby. That's your brother or sister or something, because your mama was walking around wearing pillows and stuff, trying to make people think she was pregnant so they could try to explain this baby. Like there was shame. And so to take away the shame, you got to be a victim. If you're a victim, nobody's gonna hold you responsible. So if you the victim and so and so did this and this happened to you and woo, then nobody's looking at like because nobody wants to get into victim shame. But that's what they call it. But I mean, you got to take some responsibility for your part in the situation. I mean, unless you like with the whole grape situation, like unless you just walking down the street minding your business, somebody grab you, you had something to do with it, and that's what it is. That's all.
I remember
you drunk and you going up in your secluded spaces with people you don't know and all that, you had a part to play in it. So they come up with that I got to be a victim to try to absolve themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, you keep hearing that, you keep hearing it, you keep hearing it, you keep hearing it. So I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like to be a black male child where you're a male and you got the hormones and they kicking in, and all you hear from your mama and your aunties and your grandmama and they friends and your girls you go to school with and all
Black
over
men ain't shit.
everywhere. Right.
That's all. Like, my grandmother is 80 years old. And just the other day, we were talking about, men and women, and she was like, men ain't shit. Black men, she's 80 years old and still saying it. And still saying it. And then, I don't understand. I grew up that way. Just that's all. And here, listen. Last week when I broke down Angry Man's stream where he said where he asked, "Is it time for black men to walk away?" And and I really watched like the first 5 minutes of that I identified with that stream so much because I saw the struggle for him to even contemplate the conversation. And believe it or not, our ladies don't really understand that there's a lot of fucking guilt rolling around in your men when we're having these conversations, because we can't help to feel guilty because of the way we were born, even the best of us. Kevin Samuels at times talked about the guilt of coming to those conclusions and stuff like that. And then on top of that, when you got to a man has gotten to my age and realized that we were sold a bill of goods, we did things wrong, we were taught wrong, and now we're trying to undo it, and then the work to undo it is unbearable. There's guilt in that. So when we're out here, especially me and other platforms, and I know I'm not that big of a platform, we're not out here doing this, talking like this out of anger or bitterness. A lot of times you don't understand we're reluctantly having these conversations. And a lot of us are just now learning what manhood is, and we're learning it because of the space. And I can admit, man, let me tell you something. Almond I wasted 12, 13 years of my life in a marriage to somebody I had no business being married to.
I can understand that.
I'm talking about no fucking business whatsoever. And I did it out of some misguided understanding of what I thought I should be doing. And I got in this marriage, and because I was ill prepared as a man, I got steamrolled. And I'm not even ashamed to admit that anymore. I got absolutely fucking steamrolled in that marriage. I knew I was being steamrolled, but we talk about commitment. I made one of the downfalls of being a man. Most 10 toes down men, when they make a promise, they keep it. Yeah. I made a promise in this marriage. I made a vow in this marriage. So, and I thought it was failure to me if I walked away. It was failure. I failed. I couldn't make it. I wasn't man enough. And by the way, she never missed an opportunity to tell me how much of a failure I was. Every single one of her gripes or issues or complaints, or every one of my shortcomings, was met by what kind of man would let blah, blah, blah happen. If you know what I mean? So
that was a trigger point.
Everything that I did or did not do was tied to my manhood. And so I was so ill-equipped to handle that. And because of that came on the not caring about my physical well-being, not caring about my health, and, not really thinking that I had anything of value. Let me tell you something, Almond, you're going to crack up at this. This woman that I married moved into my home, right?
Okay.
About 2 years into the marriage. Now, mind you, I just told you she moved into my home. But about 2 years into my marriage, we were having an argument, and this woman says to me, "You wouldn't even have a place to stay if it wasn't for me."
What? Okay, now that, yeah. What? Okay, she was used to saying that in arguments. Sound like the type of dudes that she dealt with before she got with you. That was the dynamic, but she forgot what she was.
Talking about
she
the
forgot
most.
What she was.
That was so incredibly stunning to hear that, especially because the only bill she paid was the light bill and her car payment. That was the only bill she paid in the house.
I'm gonna hit her with I'm gonna stop paying this mortgage and see where you live after that.
Yeah, well, she said that because at the time she out earned me, so she felt because she out. I don't know what possessed her to say that.
I'm telling you, the dude she was dealing with prior to you, that's what was going on. So
I was
she was still in that same
yeah, that one floored me. A lot of us have allowed things that we should have never allowed or didn't or was not able to deal with effectively and stuff like that. And so my title of this little talk that I'm having is called I'm a King Fraud. I'm not a fraud, but at times, because I'm just now coming into what you see on screen is who I am. I don't put on the show. I don't put on a character because some people like, I like my big brother, my little brother Chaotic, but it's a character. I don't do that. I come on and talk about the stuff that I actually mean. My personality that comes out on the screen is my personality. I'm very blunt with stuff. I'm blunt in real life, and people trust and believe. I get into a lot of conflicts with people because I'm so blunt. I don't know how else to be. I don't know what else to be like.
I've struggled with that myself, but I'm like, sometimes it's not you, it's them.
And when I was at the gym and just the wanting to give up, and the fact that I did that to myself and thinking about how we get along, and the fact that so many of us have missed our window, but it didn't happen overnight. And what to do, it's the struggle. It's the absolute struggle. And I know, like a lot of the other platforms, they sit around and react to the Kendra G's and the fuckeries of the world, and they get a lot of
what is that really doing?
And a lot of engagement and stuff like that. I mean, I get people come on and they'll watch. At times I'll get 150 or 200 people in, but you see they don't participate in the chat. And that's fine. If they're just watching to be watching or just passing by the time, I guess that's fine. I'll take the views, but I have goals that I want to do if I can grow my platform. I think I can do something if I can gain it enough to reinvest into what we're doing over here. But from a personal standpoint, there are days, usually I'm feeling this way during my workout days with my personal trainer because of how far I've let things go and how hard it's going to be to get back. I'm not ever going to be, here's what I know. I will never be 205 pounds again. I know that. That's not the goal. My goal is by my birthday next May is to be 100 pounds down. To me, that's a huge victory. I'm 350. So that's a huge victory. I see guys because I work in the hospital. Oh, speaking, I gotta get going. I see guys in the hospital and they'll be 285 and can't barely move. And I'm 350 and people talking about, oh my God, you're big, strong, I'm very broad up top. I don't have a lot of flab hanging. My weight is down here. I'm big in the belly and all that good stuff. But here up, it looks like I'm just a husky guy. I don't have my stomach in my lap. I see a 350-pound guy at the hospital and the sucker can't even move. He needs a walker. I'm not that at all. But and thank God I'm not that at all. But 350 pounds is 350 pounds. That's a lot. And I just compared it to The Rock. He's like 260 something, and I weigh him by almost about 100 pounds. So failure, we failed ourselves individually, and I don't know what it's gonna take. Somebody says, maybe our generation is gonna have to die out, but
we still got to worry about the ones behind us because we're
on
the same trajectory.
They're on the same trajectory. They're on the worst trajectory.
Yeah, y'all like listening to Sexy Red and Suki and all that nonsense. Honey, no.
Let me tell you something. As a guy who works in an emergency room, who provide advanced medical care, let me explain something to you. You got a lot of guys out here talking about they want 20-year-old girls. I wouldn't touch a
No, you
20-year-old
don't.
woman.
No,
I
you
would not
don't.
touch a 21-year-old. If you only knew how many women under the age of 35 come through the ER with a coochie problem.
Mm-hmm.
They come in. I mean, if we see somebody in the ER, a female in the ER under 35, that she's in there because
We
there's
already know that twat is out of order.
Completely out of order. And you'll hear them, I got this smell and I don't know how to get rid of it. And then come to find out they got 3 different venereal diseases. Mm-hmm. The volume of women that come, young women that come in there that got these girls out here, they're fucking anything that will move.
Anything.
2 and 3 times a
over.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no matter how good you think it look, that sucker is really, really probably on fire.
That's putting it mildly. Yeah,
it is. And I'm not being provocative about it. Yeah, the combo. I got to put that up. This is.
Yes.
I'm not being provocative about it. It is. I wouldn't touch a girl under 35 if for nothing. And even women 35 to 40, you got to be suspect. But these young girls,
they trying to catch up.
And these younger, they be talking about, oh man, you can hear it. I be walking past the room. I don't know why I got this odor. It won't go away. And then they test them. You don't understand how many times in a week that we got to deliver the real bad news to them.
You got something you can't get rid of?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't understand how many times a week we are delivering that to an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, 22-year-old.
I don't, and for me, I have to go back to the, I know y'all, males, y'all can, detach, but how you detach it from the fact that this chick got all kinds of sewage running down her leg before you go in? How you detaching from that? Like Pookie, Ray, all of this ain't Pookie and Ray. If we gonna be honest, it's some in between dudes. Like the dude might work at the bank, but then he still got a little hood. Like y'all, they need some mentorship, and this is why they need you, because y'all got to do something about the anything for some coochie. This is a problem. Because if they didn't have anybody to participate in all this reckless sex with, it wouldn't be all of this.
It is.
We need the participants on both sides. Like, we know these bras, are bargaining basement, no self-esteem, no self-respect, because nobody's, taught them that. But dudes, like, y'all can't be this thirsty, but you are. And it's just, I just be sitting here, like, some of the stuff I see.
That's because we're hard. Let me tell you something. What's accelerating it, and I hate to put it this way, but damn near. Let me tell you something. When I work at the nurses, these nurses uniforms be so. It's right. Like every night, every nurse buys a uniform that's 2 sizes too small. Mm-hmm. You can see everything. And let me let you in on another secret. In the last 5 years, we've had I think I saw it was like a 62% increase in men coming into the work into the healthcare field, because men are starting to realize you can get a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the fastest way to $100K salary, working 3 days a week, coming into nursing, and then nursing programs they're not hard like they used to be. And let me let you into on another little secret about nursing. They don't do the majority of your care no more. They just give you medicine.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm.
The nursing part has been farmed out to your Tisha, your CNA. Yeah. Your patient care tech. Mm-hmm. They do all of the bedside care, the vitals, they do all that crap. The nurses just come in. If the nurses can give away, if the nurses can get away with parsing out giving their medicine away, then they wouldn't be doing anything in these places. Mm-mm. And I know I might got some nurses that watch me like, I work in the ICU. ICU and ER nurses are the only ones that still do nursing. Pretty much. Because they're because it's 1-to-1 care.
Yeah, and that's it.
So I just came on because I was having a moment, after the workout today, and Even me, when I get on and I come on with a lot of bravado, which means bold, by the way. And I come on with a lot of bravado, and I'm talking without talking, and I'm going through what I'm going through with the streams. Even I come on at times struggle with what I've done to myself personally, and then how that fits in. There's no way I should be 45 and single.
I know the feeling because I'm in the same boat. I know.
If money was everything and character was everything, I mean, there's only a few people watching. Almanize, I make over 200K.
Mm-hmm.
And if character was anything,
yeah, because I was actually
if I was this guy 50, 60 years ago, I'd probably be having fist fights in my front yard with women trying to get up in here, knowing that there's no woman up in my house.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, they shot on the corner on the roof. Yeah, it'll be round the clock surveillance on your spot. But that just made me think about this.
But I got black women telling me. I got black women telling me that I'm not ambitious enough.
What?
Oh my God.
Oh, I forgot, because it's about appearance. So, even though, you bringing in what you bringing in, the package doesn't announce to the world you bringing in what you bringing in. But again, you can be somebody making $100,000 a year and you $400,000 in debt. You struggling.
You're still broke. Yeah.
Or you could be somebody bringing in $100,000 a year. You only spending 60, and let's say you invest in 30, and then you got, income coming in from what you invested off of the 30. But again, it's about what it looked like.
Yeah.
But again, I'm only working where I want folks not calling me, telling me you owe me.
I'm only working 1 day a week this month. Like this month, because I wanted to do more streaming, I'm only working 1 day a week this month.
That's what's
and my lifestyle is not changing.
You want to come work for me? Because these five a week I'm doing. I'm dying
this month. I decided I can do that because I've try to be disciplined with my money, take care of myself, pay. I have a mortgage. I have the household expenses. Last year I bought me a brand new car. First time I ever bought a brand new car. I paid cash for it. I got a 2022, and it's a nice car. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's kind of funny because it sits in the garage. What I drive every day, I drive a 2008 Chevy Silverado with almost 200,000 miles on. I drive that sucker every day.
Okay.
So no, I don't announce.
Camry with about 250, and I get to where I need to be.
I wear scrub pants and yoga britches damn near every day because they're comfortable. So I do not announce to the world that I am, and I've only started earning at the level of earning in the last 5 years. So that whole crap what Kevin Simmons talking about, black men don't hit their financial stride until between the ages of 35 and 40. That is absolutely true. But I struggle. I struggle with that I wasted time. I've struggled with the fact that I recognize that I've been not given the appropriate tools to be a bit further down the road. I am about 15 years behind the game.
I understand. I completely understand it because I feel that way.
And a lot of black men are. So when we're out here having these conversations with our women, and they're giving us pushback, I always say to them, if the way you think, the way you move, if you are right in what you are doing, where's the proof of your success? Where's your husband? Where's your family? Where's your retirement? Where's this? Where is the proof? And our women always go back to, I'm engaged. Men is always trying to holler at me. And I go, I don't care about somebody trying to holler at you. I asked you where your husband is.
Exactly.
I asked you, where's your one father for your 4 children? And this whole notion that we are here making all of this money, that's not true.
It's not.
So I just wanted to come on and just kind of have a heart-to-heart with people that were on watching, and just kind of, what did Terry say? I didn't even see this. This is why I say we need to focus on the youth. Masculine men need to mentor these young boys, and feminine women need to mentor young girls, teenagers, and teenagers and grown folks kind of at a loss. Is a kind of a lost cause.
True.
That last part right there. We're a lost cause. So who's going to do the mentoring?
True.
And people are
some of us
just,
grown people need to mentor some of these grown people.
we're just giving up. And I kind of, here's the thing that I like what Crimson Cure did. Crimson Cure lived it. She went and got married at 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough of us out here, you know, to just put down your fucking weapon for the sake of future. Are we just at the point where both we black men got more options? That's just the reality of as far as being in a long-term serious situation than our women.
Mm-hmm.
Do we just all just let this shit continue to? I didn't already think it's burnt to the ground because we're going to be doing the series, you know, the rise and death of the black family. You know, I don't do a series like that if I don't think the black family is dead.
And that's the hardest part for me to accept, because like with the reality is, you know, with the passport bros and the this and the that, and you know, black men marrying women of different races and all of that. You black, but you going elsewhere. The black family is done. There's no more, you know, going to see your people in the country and, you know, learning how to, you know, pick, you know, saying crowd of peas and collard greens and all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times when these, from what I've seen in my anecdotal experience, black men who marry out leave their ethnicity, they leave a black behind.
Yeah.
So that they can be more acceptable to this new group of people they want to deal with. So like we need to ask ourselves, and you know, especially, you know, black men, are you at peace with the black community as we knew it, you know, back in, you know, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all this time? Are you cool with it being gone? That's the real question.
With the
Because
basketball,
the passport brewing and all this stuff is it's gonna be gone.
They've made that decision. Yes, they've made that decision. And there lies the rub. They've made that decision, and it's growing.
But is
and
it
I think our black women
they've made, and then like let's say black men our age, let's say they married, you know what I'm saying, out in their 20s. Like at this point in their lives, do you know if any conversations that do they regret it?
Well, right now, a lot of the guys that I know that I am seeing, I don't see it that the 20-year-olds are moving out. Well, my nephew, he's 24 years old.
Mm.
He will not date a black woman.
Mm.
He says, I don't have time for the attitude. And he talks about, and my nephew is like, he's a good looking boy. Mm-hmm. Oh, I tell him all the time, nephew, oh my God, you lucky to be this. And he jacked up, you know, you know, it's a nice looking boy. Woo, you know, and he won't. He says, I don't have time to be fighting with somebody. Too many black. This is a black boy, so he know what he's talking about. I ain't got time for the arguing. I ain't got time for anybody trying to put their hands on me. I ain't got time for nobody talking crazy to me. He dates exclusively Hispanic and white girls, and he got the option because he's in phenomenal shape and he's good looking. So he has the option to date the most beautiful black woman that he wants. He won't even give him a shot. He's like, no.
See, for me, that's a because okay, we've all had dudes. But I mean, you know, you change your environment, you change your, you know, saying experiences, you change what you expose yourself to. So I mean, the same energy for me, and this is just me, that he's taking to meet these non-black women, go somewhere different and find a different black.
Here's the rub. Here's what's being a lot of content creators are asking. Why do black men gotta go through extraordinary lengths to try to find what we deem to be a needle in the haystack when this whole crop of women over here are open to us, and there's plenty over there? So the decisions,
I get that, but I mean, in the end, we've seen plenty of examples. It really ain't, the grass ain't always greener, and they end up in some of the same drama.
But the risk for them now that are making the decision, as a man, I'm telling you, the risk over there seems to be less of a risk. You know, when you're dealing with a woman, it's always a risk, you know, so that's neither here nor there. The question I have for our women is, why aren't you putting up a fight to keep them?
Okay, for that, for us, it would kind of be for quality women. I'm not talking about these same bargain basement, run of the mill cookie cutter chicks. finding a good brother is kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack as well. Like, I know me, just because I've been around a lot of different kind of black people, like hood rats, upper crust, in the middle, this, that, whatever. But most don't. It's you got your son husbands, you got emotional, you got. I mean, it's damage on both sides. So I mean, it's not like I can just walk out the front door and find.
But you have to understand, while that statement is true, that there's a lot of men come back and say, listen, we are inadequate because we were raised by an inadequate teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you're complaining about the very thing that not you as an almanize, but you're complaining about the very thing that you raised.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The bargain basement, average everyday cookie color, them all the same type of chicks. But I mean, like somebody like me, like I know where to find my dad. I told you, like 3 rooms down the hall. I know where my mama is. I mean, like literally, he's like 3 rooms down the hall. I know where my mama is. They were together. I mean, I every day talk with the college. I saw my parents. Like,
we got women.
I get it, but I mean, I can admit my flaws, but it's not a lot of, what I'm saying, and I'm just gonna be honest, it's not a lot of women who are dealing in their reality. Yeah, I done messed up, I done wasted time, I did this, I did that. I'm aware of that. I'm doing what I need to do to get those things in order. And then you're just like, well, why am I gonna get it in order if ain't nobody out here for me? Like that's what I'm just for me and people, female friends of mine. That's what we sit around and talk about. That's what we deal with, because we're doing the work. We're looking in the mirror. We're like, okay, dang, we done messed this up. What can I do better? Let me get some advice from over here. Let me see what your experience of me is. Let me work on this. And then it's just like, all we're hearing is, oh, you're a black woman. I'm not even gonna have a 10-minute conversation with you to see if you on a different level.
Yeah, they're not even. Many black men have just checked out that are qualified, and there is a little bit of resentment there. I can admit, for a lot of black men, especially in our age group, there's a little bit of resentment. It's like, oh, now that I've kind of, you see kind of what I've turned out, now I'm worth it. Now you want to come around. Now you want to do this, and I can't get anything from you that I normally get. So I wish I had the magic bullet to the solution for all of this. But one of the things, like I talked about earlier today, is one of the things as a collective, I wish our women as a collective unit would do the first step in the 12-step program as a collective, and is acknowledge the fact that there's a problem.
Yes, we got too many rats. We got to figure out how to kill the rats first.
You got to get the rat. And here's the thing, Kevin.
We got to figure out how to kill the rats. But again, in us killing the rats, we gonna kill the rats. Why y'all gonna come help us get them out the building? Like we gonna do the hard work, but I mean on the other side, you gonna kind of help us push the dead weight outside for the trash man.
Yeah, I mean,
sense. But from what I keep coming across is no, and it's just on the strength of black women have done me wrong in the past. I don't know you never done nothing to me, but you're a black woman, so you're gonna pay for what the rest of them did. And that's happening on both sides. That women are doing that to men, and men are doing that to women. Who's gonna be the first to say, let's stop?
Yeah, Kevin's talked about this, Crimson's talked about this, I've talked about this, the need for grace. I've talked about the New Deal. We need a New Deal.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to get a New Deal, there has to be a détente called. I think black men are willing, but you talked about killing the rats. That's not our job anymore. That's how black men are seeing it. Yeah, because who said this? Somebody said too many of the decent, quote unquote, decent women side with the fuckery of the non-decent women.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like, to us, it's kind of like when people say, well, not all cops are bad. There's some good cops. Well, if these so-called good cops are good cops, then why they're siding with the fuckery of the bad cops?
Well, then that means they're not good cops.
They
The good cops are gonna be all the way over here, and the foolish and the fuckery gonna be all the way over there. So again, if you got two groups, you got foolishness, and if you got people who side with the foolishness, that means what's the old saying, birds of a feather. So leave that whole group over there. But if you got another group over here saying, yeah, nah, I'm not down with any of that, wow, see what's going on with that group. It might be 30 in this group of, yeah, I'm not with it, versus the 2,000 you had over there. But if this 30 is strong, then that's you need to see what you can get out of that 30. But we get in the, oh, well, I'm just gonna walk past both groups. I don't need to see anything from either side. And I mean, that's just if you are concerned with trying to fix and restore the Black community, how can you walk past the group that's saying, okay, yeah, this ain't right?
I'm not saying
that's my question.
Yep, I'm not saying that. You missed the comment that men were taught wrong. I'm saying so were women. Yeah,
we were. We absolutely were.
This is why we are misguided as a community. Yeah.
And I know some of the stuff. I've admitted. So I know some of the stuff that I was like, okay, yeah, this ain't the move. Okay, let me not do this. Let me work on this part over here. Okay, yeah, I tried it in the past. It didn't work. So let me take that out scratch that page out the book and move on to something else. But I mean,
Terry,
it takes a lot to be able to do that.
We're not making it mainstream. We have made it mainstream. When you got Maxine Waters talking about her favorite song is Wet Ass Pussy.
Yeah, we got a problem.
She gets 70-year-old.
But again, if you had been listening to her prior to that, her saying that wasn't a shot.
This is absolute cray. Well, listen, I gotta find something to eat to take to work, which I should have did that hours ago. I just wanted to come on and just, I don't know, just chop it up a little bit and then just kind of let you guys know that, despite that, the streams that are put together and organized, whatever, that there's a struggle over here. There's an internal struggle with me. There's an internal, whether some of these men that are come on these platforms, whether they want to admit it or not, Angry Man showed his struggle, regardless of you want to go back and actually look at it and dissect it like I did when he talked about, is it time for Black men? That first 5 to 10 minutes of that brother, if you ever watch Angry Man, he doesn't do this pausing and this fumbling and searching for. I was like, damn. When I watched that, I said, oh, this motherfucker. I knew it when I saw it. And I said, that ain't nothing but guilt. Yep. That ain't nothing but feeling bad.
I had to go back and watch it because I was moderating for him. So I was getting rid of all the trolls because they was coming in hot. So I had to go back and watch it. And I was like, brothers, he feeling some type of way about this. But again, like you said, a lot of people on in this space and people in general don't let that be shown. They get on and they just have this facade going on, and that's just what it's gonna be. But I mean, that's what we need. Like you said, you're conflicted, you're struggling. Like we need to see that on both sides, men and women. So I mean, I definitely gonna do my part. I always want to try to be transparent. I mean, nothing, as y'all can tell, I got a few pounds I'm trying to get rid of myself. Nothing over here is perfect. I have no problem, sharing and talking about my struggles. And I think, for us to try to figure out what it is we want to do, we need to have more of that.
Okay. Just like I start each and every stream, even though this is like a throw off stream, every good man should have a theme song. I got mine. Mine's is I'm a King. And it's just to remind myself, not that I'm like a literal king with subjects, but to understand that I'm a king of my own, path, and to walk that as honestly as I can, even when I'm struck. I feel absolutely guilty that I let myself get 350 pounds. I feel absolutely guilty that I'm 45 with not a woman in the house, whether that's my fault or my own. I was married. I was a married man. Feel bad that I didn't have the adequate skill set to maintain that marriage, because I did not. And then a guilt about being upset about how hard it is at this stage of my life to now fix something and coming to the realization that the stuff that I'm fixing now should have been fixed 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I am still a king.
I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win. Every day I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win. Every day I get it in. I'm a king. I told you guys before, ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all the spoils, add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds, I'm a lion on the surge. Always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I